So guys, I have some fairly big news. When 4.0 released, a lot of people said, well, where's the big update? Usually when they go to another number, there's something big that has happened with Vainglory. Well, the big thing is that it has released on Steam. The PC client has gone into early access on Steam, which means it is much more visible and much more available across the world. It was front page featured. I won't be able to show you that because I've already downloaded it on Steam, so it's going to remove that from my front page feature. However, it is on the front page and it's starting to rack up some reviews, and the traffic seems pretty good apparently. So what I'm going to do is show you that it's on Steam, obviously, as a first thing. You can just need to type Vainglory into the Steam search bar, or if you don't have it already, you'll be able to find it on the front page for now. And I'm going to jump into a very quick new user guide, especially for PC players, because I feel like my old guide for if you're new to Vainglory is about 2 years old now. So this is a new one for PC players specifically, and we're going to cover some basics. Alright guys, once you've been through the tutorial, you'll be greeted with the home screen, which looks a little bit like this, very minimalist UI, and I'm going to go through some of the important parts and just let you know what each tab does. So we'll start from top to bottom. Bag is where you're going to see all of the heroes you've currently unlocked. So the heroes you can see here, you can drag down with your mouse wheel and have a look at all of them, and it'll show you which ones are free to play this week. Skins will show you all of the skins, and for an unowned skin, for instance, let's go to, I'm going to go to G, Gwen. For an unowned skin, it'll tell you how to get it, so you can craft that with an essence and blueprint. Or, if it's available for ice or opals, you can just confirm and craft it like that. Special edition skin unlocked. So you should be able to get skins that you want, and this is the way to view all of the skin splash arts. And if you go into practice mode, you can test out any skin in the game and see what the model looks like when you get into game. You'll have your talents tab here, which will show you the talents that you have and you don't have. Talents come from chests, and they are mainly for the brawl modes, which include things like Blitz. Chests and keys. If you play games and you unlock chests, you'll sometimes find keys, and then if you get the respective chests for them, you can unlock those keys. You can also buy keys in the market. Blueprints is where it will show you all of your skin blueprints. I do not have any because I pretty much have every skin in the game, so all of my blueprints get converted to essence. Hats, which is my favourite part of the game. You can craft your hats here, as you can see, and you'll be able to equip them in this slot as well. So this is where you've got to come to equip the specific hats that you want, and you need to craft them with the crafting materials that you can find in chests. Social pings, as you can see here, you need to get a complete set, and I've really not tried to get many social pings since I've started. I've only got the basics, but if those are the ones that you like to use, you can find them here. Charm emojis, as you can see, these are the emojis that you get when you use your charm function. You can get an all-access pass, which gives you, I believe, everything for a short period of time, and that costs you a significant amount of ice. And this is your trophies that you can see from the previous seasons, and so on and so forth. So the bag, mainly you're interested in your heroes and your skins, and if you're into talents, they're there, and chests, blueprints, hats. So this is just where you have all your stuff. So the bag is what it says on the tin, just has all your stuff. Market, again, this is where you can buy ice. You can have a look at the deals of the day here for the skins, as well as having your free to open chests, which you can see here grant you some glory, and they grant you sunlight, which is helping you with your sort of battle pass and things like that. You can buy talents, and they'll have talents of the day here, as well as the rare and epic and legendary talent skins. And you're also going to come to the skins section, which you can see was on your bags as well as getting the ping packs, which you can see here too. Party is where you're going to be able to create a party. If you click create party, you can select any of the game modes, and then you can invite whoever you want. So you can even still go back to playing ARAL versus bots, and these are the practice modes. And like I said, if you go to practice, you can choose any hero in the game, and you can use any skin in the game. So that'll allow you to test things out before you buy them, which is a nice way. Social is what you can see here. These are the recent people you've played with. These are people that are online in your guild right now. Requests at the top, and then you have your friends list here. And my offline friends list is rather large, so I don't even know if it will load. But then you can go to whoever you want to talk to. For instance, this guy, and I'll say hello, basically like that, and then you talk to them. So that's pretty simple. So these are all the left-hand side UI functions. Really simple to run through. Up here, you're going to have your news tabs. Make sure you read the update notes. The update notes are super important, but this is also going to have things like content creator updates and ping packs and all this sort of the skins and that kind of thing. If you go here, you'll have your news, and it will often showcase some videos as well as art. And in general, if you want to keep up to date on how any of the sort of the community stuff is going on, you can do there. Esports, which is got the upcoming esports events, used to have a lot more, and hopefully in the future we'll have a lot more too. But the next one is WESG World Championships, which take place on March the 5th. You come here and have a look at the leaderboard, so I can have a look at me compared to my friends on the leaderboard. You can have a look at your guild, but you can also have a look at the top 100 in total. And that'll show you the top 100 players on the server right now for 3v3 and for 5v5. And you can also see the Blitz players who are top 100 as well. If you go to the academy, this will teach you some really basics stuff. These have been around for quite a while. They are still relevant to most of the things, but these are sort of where you come to learn very basic aspects of the game. So if you're struggling past the tutorial, you can learn some basic stuff about the game in those tutorial sections. And then you've got your controls over here. So I use the right-click scheme as well as smart cast and instant cast abilities, and I'll talk about that in game. Camera, you've got your camera options here. I use drag, and then you've got your chat preferences. You've got your overall preferences, full screen, which I can say full screen or not full screen, which you can't see it change, but it changed for me, obviously. Tap and hold scoreboard, so if you want to click tab and hold the scoreboard, it'll go away when you toggle it off. And you can see there's lots of different bits here. Also, in-game music. Or no in-game music. I don't generally tend to listen to the in-game music, but it is really nice if you haven't heard it for loads and loads of times. Automatically upgrade abilities. These I wouldn't recommend this unless you're really new, as well as auto buy. Auto buy and automatically upgrade abilities is definitely if you're super new to the game and you just want to learn the basic mechanics, and it's pretty good for your early bot games, your early casual games. Yeah, so in practice mode, you're going to be able to try out any hero that you want. Now, I'm going to use a hero that can illustrate some things that I'd like to talk about. So let's pick Silvernail, for instance. And we will jump into game, and I'll talk to you about some of the important parts of playing on the PC specifically, because this is some super basic stuff, and it might help you kind of understand the more mechanical parts of playing on a PC. Now, you won't get to select your talent in usual games, so let's have a look at the items specifically. Now, you can select recommended builds, and it will show you your recommended build at the top. You can even switch the build out to whatever you want, manual build there as well. Hopefully, in the future, they'll allow you to create your own builds, and then you'll be able to just easily buy whenever you like. Now, you'll only be given 600 gold at the start of the game, so I'm going to go with a level potion. You're going to be given 600 gold at the start of the game, so you'll be able to buy a combination of whatever you see in terms of all the way up to 600 gold. These are your tier 1 items, these are your tier 2 items, and these are your tier 3 items. These are the ones that are essentially your completed items. So because I'm playing Silvernail, I'm going to start weapon power, and I like to play Silvernail on a weapon power build path. However, most heroes are viable CP or weapon power. I would recommend reading up on the hero, and I'll show you how to do that after the game, or going to vgpro.gg. I'm going to double check that that's actually the address. Yes, it's vgpro.gg, and checking out pro players' hero builds. You can also do that in-game, which I'll also show you how to do. So this is your CP build path. This is generally your mage-focused abilities. These are all kind of like ability-focused. So when you sort of use Celeste, or if you're using Scarf, they usually play CP. Your defensive items are here. Read up about what each of these defensive items do. The crucial ones that you do need to keep your eyes on is Reflex Block. Reflex Block is one of the most crucial items in the game. It helps you block an ability on activation. Utility, which includes your boots, which are really important. And then you've got your other, which includes vision stuff, which is the Super Scout 200, mainly for captains. And then you're going to have weapon infusion and crystal infusion. Crystal infusion and weaponry infusions are like potions from League of Legends, and they give you a small burst for a short period of time. So let's quickly go over the settings before we get into this. I like to use Smart Cast, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean between Smart Cast. So, if I level up his W first, which you can do with the shortcut Shift plus the letter that is illustrated, so Q, W, or E. If I take off Smart Cast, I'll show you what it is. So I press W and it brings up the area in which I can fire my ability, and then I left click and he does it. It's the same if I, oh, that's wrong. It's the same as if I want to place a scout cam. It'll bring up the area in which I can place a scout cam, which is essentially a ward, and it'll grant you some vision. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. However, if I do smart cast without instant cast, I'll hold W, and on release of W, he will cast. This is for people who like to know exactly where things are going, so I'll show that, illustrate with that again there. You can see exactly where you're casting it. However, if I click instant cast, which is the final option, you'll see me just hit W, and it'll do it automatically without even bringing up the radius that I can place my ability in. Also the same with scout cams, and you can see scout cams have granted me a small amount of vision that I didn't have in these brushes. Speaking of brushes, just like in most MOBA games, you will not be able to see inside the brush until you are there. So you do have to be aware that if you can't see inside a brush, there may be an enemy hero there, and they may want to kill you. So this is the same with all of the brushes, you do have to respect them. Now, you can pan across the map by clicking on the minimap, like this. This will be able to bring up wherever you want to look on the map. You can also unlock your camera by pressing Y, and then just look on the map wherever you feel like, and you can drag around like that. By pressing Y again, it will bring you back to your hero. By panning on the minimap with just left click, it will bring you back to the position that you were in. Another important thing about the PC is you can right click to attack, which is a really basic way of doing it. Right click to attack. And the fun thing about Vainglory is very helpful, and this happens across... Oh wait, oh goodness, I'm getting attacked by a turret. It happens all the way through the game. Just so busy getting myself killed here. Happens all the way through the game. When a creep is low enough to kill, and you get the gold for it. So when a creep is low enough to kill and you get the gold for it, it will sort of change color to a bright red, which you can see there. I'm going to nearly die. I'm not used to using right click because I want to talk to you about the other button that you can use to basic attack, and that is A. So if I press A, like this, it will attack whatever is closest to my cursor. So if I put my cursor over, let's say, here, it will attack that minion. If I put my cursor over here, it will attack that minion there. If you see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try and illustrate that in more detail. Attack here. You can see it's attacking the one closest to my cursor. Attack here. Attacking the one closest to my cursor. So when you press A, it'll attack the closest thing to your cursor. And that means you can use right click for moving. And as long as you're constantly keeping your cursor on the target that you want, it will keep you attacking that target. Really great for something called attack moving, which is where you want to move and attack at the same time, because you can just right click, click A, and it's really accurate as well, as long as you are very accurate with that cursor. Like this. You can see like that. There we go.
Well, let's get on with it then.
So those are the absolute basics of playing on the PC. Remember, you find what you want to work for you. Now, there are some other things that you might want to look at here. Locked camera is what we have, but you can unlock the camera by pressing Y, and you can also click this button in the top right-hand corner. You can bring up the scoreboard by pressing tab, and this will have several functions when you're in an actual game of Vainglory. This will show you all of your builds as well as your kills. It will also show the gold that is split between your team and the enemy team, so you'll be able to see how far ahead you or the enemy team are. Social will bring up plenty of social options, including the mute function, which will be about here on your actual game. You'll see it very easily. It's a chat bubble, and you can click that and it will mute pings and it will mute chat from the enemy. You can also press enter to talk in chat. Not cringe. And that will allow you to talk to your teammates in chat, and this can also take place in Draft 2. Right, that is everything for the basics in-game. Now, in terms of playing the game mode, this plays very much like a traditional MOBA. You have 3 lanes, of which the top laner, mid laner, and the bot laner. You also have a jungle, which I'll just go and explore now for you. I'm going to buy some boots very quickly. You can't buy anywhere on the map usually. This is because it is practice mode. You can buy anywhere on the map. I'll talk to you a little bit about that before. But the jungle has these camps. The weapon treant, which you can see here, is a treant that grants you a bonus to your weapon power. The healing treant, the barrier treant here, grants you a barrier and also heals you. They're all very handily named. The gold oak gives you gold, large amount of gold bounty. We're going to walk over to this side of the bush. The crystal treant buffs your crystal. These guys don't get a name because they're just dudes, and they give you the 2-dude camp. They just give you gold, and then there's another barrier treant. Now the jungle is mirrored, so this side is the weapon power, this side is the weapon power, this side is the crystal power, this side is the crystal power. So you usually have blue and red side jungle. In terms of activatable items, let's pick up a few activatable items here. That's too many crucibles. You'll have activatable items come up on the bottom left of your screen. Now, there is plenty of different activatable items in Vainglory, and you'll understand what they do as you learn to play with them and read up on them. Fountain restores health to you and your teammates. Crucible is a team-wide reflex block, which is good for blocking big AoE abilities. But one of the most important things is you have an activatable sprint in Vainglory. So, if I click it, I will move very quickly for a short period of time. And all of the different boots have different effects. Journey boots that I'm using right now reduce their cooldown when you attack enemy heroes. So again, a couple of other extra bits about this map that you might want to know. 3 lanes, as we said before, you've got to push through these turrets. You take down these things here, which are the armories. They act like inhibitors in League of Legends, for instance, and they just increase the power of your minions pushing into the enemy base. Your end goal is to destroy the Vein Crystal, which is essentially the Nexus. You can see here there are dragons. Blackclaw is a dragon that if you take later into the game, he spawns after the dragon over here, which we'll have a look at in a minute. He will jump into the middle of the map and he will charge down and will push the towers for you. He's a very, very good. I'll see if I can take him by myself in a minute just to illustrate that. And then if we go over to...
Let's hunker down.
If we go over to Ghostwing just gives you a buff. So I'm going to take these dragons just to show you guys what I mean. It also means I'm going to need to get plenty of levels and plenty of damage. Let's go tornado trigger. Do. Cool, that'll do. Get a weapon infusion. Oh wait, I need to get some. Need to get my level potion. Where does my level potion go? Oh no! If you sell level potion, can you not get it back? I made a categorical error here. Well, we'll just have to try and do it at level 6. Let's go. Okay. So if you take Ghostwing, which I'm actually doing a decent amount of damage to. Gives you a barrier and also gives him some health regeneration. You can see over here illustrated by this buff on the left hand side, and this will list all of your buffs here as well. Let's try and take Blackclaw. Level 6 taking Blackclaw. I'm very good at this game. But I also have a very ridiculous build. I'll illustrate what exactly Blackclaw does. Cool. Blackclaw will also heal you after you take him, and you'll notice he flies off, and you'll see him crash down in the center of the map like this, and he will run down the center of the map, and he will just take those turrets for you. Enemy will obviously be able to kill him, but he acts as an immediate pushing tool, and he's a really good game ender as the game progresses. Right, that is the basics of 5v5 Vainglory. We'll have a little bit of a chat outside of game to talk about the VG Pro stuff, as well as how to check out what hero build paths work, and then eventually we'll be done. And finally, something that you can do on the mobile version that should be coming to the PC version pretty soon is if you go to stats, it'll bring up vgpro.gg. However, on the PC, if you want to go and check out vgpro.gg, you can. It is essentially the API site that you can go and look at pro players' build paths, and you can check out exactly like sort of how they build each individual hero to get an idea on what the best build path is at the time. And finally, something that I sort of maybe should have mentioned, there's several forms of currency in this game. Ice is the premium currency to buy skins, and you can buy new heroes with it. Glory is essentially the currency that you can buy and upgrade your talents and also buy heroes with. Opals buys you the seasonal additional skins, and it's for unlocking certain holiday skins out of season. And Essence is what you use to upgrade blueprints, which is the free RNG way of getting skins in the game. So you can get skins in the game for free, just comes through this RNG format of blueprints and essence. Right guys, that is everything, and I hope you enjoy Vainglory on the PC, and I hopefully see you on the rise.